Baker, what is it that brings you to a doctor?
Well, I have difficulties in sleeping, concentrating, loss of appetite, extreme nervousness, emotionally upset easily.
Can you tell me anything about when these began?
Yes, sir. They began in spring of 1943 up in New Guinea. Well, it's hard explaining that, but first time I noticed it was up in the Solomons when we made the invasion of the Solomons. We had a pretty tough sledding then. I got caught in Pearl Harbor. Then we fought the Coral Sea battle. And into Midway. And then into the Solomons. And we went to GQ on a Tuesday at noon. And the following Monday we were secured from GQ. We had fought off an airplane attack, 45 torpedo bombers. And we fought that night battle, first naval battle. I started noticing I was feeling kind of groggy then.
Groggy?
Yes, sir. It's, well, I couldn't sleep. I didn't think nothing of it. So, 2 days after that battle, we was convoying some ships in, and my division was ordered in to investigate Guadalcanal to see if the harbor was clear. It was midnight. So we went in there. We picked up this Jap, it was a cruiser, on our radar. So we had our batteries trained on him. We asked permission to open fire. Permission was not granted. A little confugally there. And about that time, through the telescope, I could see them bozos letting us have it. So we notified the captain. He came hard right. 2 of them missed us. 2 caught the ship ahead of us. Started sprinkling us with legs and arms and guts and stuff like that. Well, that kind of set me a little adrift. It didn't bother me.
What do you mean, set you adrift? Can you tell me what you mean?
Well, I got an awful funny feeling in there. It seemed like I was drawing up, you know, swelling up. Just freezing like, you know, see. Well, when you would get time off, you go down in your room, lay down, and you finally would go to sleep. You wouldn't sleep. You just fight them battles all over again. You know, everything would happen all over again. You'd wake up in a cold sweat, water just pouring off you. And anytime you felt like eating, you'd heave. That's what it felt. See.
Tell me about this feeling of being confused.
Well, you go back and check your batteries, and you wonder how the devil you got back there. You don't remember getting back there. We picked up 7 survivors. We was looking for 42. 4 days later, we found them. There's 1 guy left. I didn't think nothing of it. But that night again, when I tried to get some sleep, I'd freeze up again.
Can you tell me about that night?
I was up yardstick looking for these clowns. We call them clowns for the simple reason they abandoned their ships without orders. 42 of them went over the side, got panicky. And we was only 200 miles off the Japs then. So that's
well, tell me about your feelings of...
It's going to start right in here. And even now, and I'd swell up. My God, I was swelled up like that. And all this so bad there that they turned over the Army hospital up in Ghetto, Australia. I was froze up pretty bad. They'd raise my arm up like that and then release it. I'd have no control of it. Stay there. Of course, when I start thinking, you know, it release me.
How do you mean when you start thinking?
Well, the way this doctor explained it to me, if if you hold your arm up normally, it's supposed to drop. Of course, he was an Army doctor, I don't know about him. Mine wouldn't do that. And the least little thing, water just pour off me. Sweat. Sweat just roll off me. And in other words, I'd get wake up at night, hear gunfire, men screaming, things like that.
Any other feelings this time?
Well, just that confused, couldn't read. Forgot my file number. Try to read. I remember I was trying to play, I was trying to play cribbage, which is an old game. I played it for 15 years. And I'd forgotten the game. I'd pull boners in it, you know.
So you didn't feel anything until 43?
Yes, sir, 43. And when I really got it bad, we was patrolling off the Sunday Islands. MacArthur was making his big push in there, and we were supposed to catch any remnants trying to escape, or if the Spade face was going to send anything in for reinforcement, we were supposed to intercept them. Well, we've been up there then about 6 weeks patrolling, and we had orders to proceed to Marlin Bay and investigate strange ships in the harbor. That was at 15:30. So we went to flank speed. Squadron 4 was ordered in. And we didn't arrive there till 1 o'clock. Well, there's your anxiety right there, getting your batteries ready again and stuff like that.
Anxiety?
Well, that's when I went start going haywire. I felt it. I was down in quarters. All of a sudden, I couldn't even talk. Yet I wasn't scared. I've been commendated 4 or 5 times for coolness in battle. So it's just that I started getting that again, you know. And
You weren't scared?
no, I just freeze up. My record is full of skippers putting their accommodations in there for being so cool and stuff. I saved the ship 3 times. Saved it in Pearl Harbor. Had an incident aboard. 6 months in the Navy. He learned to steam the ship that morning. He done all right. I never was scared. Never gave it a thought.
Well, tell me about this anxiety building up.
Seemed to draw me right up, you know. I kept telling my skipper about it. He said, well, I'm going to turn you in as soon as we get back to civilization somewhere. You know, he said, evidently you're worn out.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, what can you feel about it? Still didn't get back to civilization until around October.
In October 1943, the patient was transferred to Brisbane, Australia.
But the least little thing, I draw up again and start sweating.
What do you mean, the least little thing?
Well, anything that upset me,
Upset you?
you know. Well, for instance, now you take it this way. One particular incident there, I had 30,000 rounds of ammunition rolling in. I had these new magnetic bombs coming in, and various other things. I'd have to go aboard the ships, this particular 2 ships, see the big shots, the high command, and ask them for 20-hand working parties. They'd give you a growl. You know. Well, it'd start getting me going.
How'd you feel when they gave you the growl?
Well, I don't know, I thought they was trying to hinder the war effort, more or less, the way I felt about it. I mean,
Any particular thoughts about that?
yeah, that was my thoughts. So I left commander, went right up to the old man, knocked at his cabin, told him, I said, I got this stuff and I've got to put it away. I'm eating men. He took one look at me and I got them in. But I mean,
Feel inside then?
That's just how I felt, you know what I mean? I'd freeze up there. Water just pour off again.
Shortly after this, the patient was evacuated to the States.
We'll send you down to San Diego. When he gets down to San Diego, and they had built another wing in there to take care of the combat fatigue cases. So I just sit and square out my belt, and they give me a vitamin pill. Told me to relax and take it easy, see. I do all right, till one night the corpsman made a mistake, and I got 2 telegrams. One was my brother next to me got bumped off over in Germany, and my youngest brother. They locked me up that night. I want to get back over again.
What happened?
Well, it's the same old thing, but except this time I wanted to get back over and get back in the fight again.
How'd you feel?
I felt like I wanted to kill some more Japs. But I mean, I just had one thought in mind.
One thought?
That's all I had. I want to get back over it. I concentrated on that. And I got back over it, too.
Well, how have things been going lately, Mr. Baker?
Well, I was getting to that. So I goes back over. Took me 4 months to catch my ship. I chased her all through the Philippines, Okinawa, and in them hurricanes and typhoons out there, and I finally caught her in Shanghai. I got on board her, and I was made the assistant gunnery officer and torpedo officer. I got along fine on there. If I'd feel these spells coming or kind of tired or tense or something like that, I'd go in my room and lay down. Doctors give me a phenobarbital or something like that, and it'd wear off. Occasionally, I'd probably have to change my uniform 2 or 3 times a day. I'd be on edge and nervous and sweating, you know. But I was always fighting it for the simple reason I've always been allergic to doctors. I never had a thing wrong with me in the Navy, not even an aspirin, until 1943. That's my record shows. So, done good on there. We got the recommendation from the captain. And we went out to Bikini, went through that.
After fighting at Bikini, Baker received orders to report back to the U.S. for further treatment. En route home, he was serving as watch officer when the following episode occurred.
Well, one night, I was in convoy. The ship ahead of us broke down. We were steering by radar. It was raining. And this character that had deck ahead of me, evidently had an engine breakdown. He didn't signal me. The results were that I happened to glance up there, and it was raining, you know, and all of a sudden, the stern was almost up on us. So I came hard left and missed him about 2 feet. And that time I saw him collision quarters, and crew was broke out. The captain came up on deck, wanted to know what it was all about. I explained it to him. He cleared me on the case and told me I'd done the right thing. And results was they had the engine breakdown. They made us the leader. So we went up and took the lead. And I was out in the wing of the bridge, and I kept thinking about that. The more I think about it, I'd start feeling tense again. And that
Tell me
same
some of your
feeling.
thoughts about it.
Well, how anybody could be that stupid as to have an engine breakdown and not notify the people in sternum. That was one thing. It agitated me, I imagine.
Agitated you?
Well, it did in a way. You know what I mean? It's just, to myself, I cussed him out, you know, and
Any other thoughts in your mind then?
naturally your thoughts go to just what would happen if you'd had to send about 5, 10, 15 boats over the side and start trying to pick up these men and stuff like that. The confusion, the injuries. In other words, just been one heck of a mess. And all due to carelessness on some top watchstander that didn't know his job. Well, then I start, all of a sudden I don't know, just draw up in there again. It's always that same thing right in here is where it starts. I just seem to draw up in there, you know, and start freezing up. I get that same feeling.
Any other thoughts before you started freezing up?
No, it was just that about the men and the casualties and this and that, you know.
This and that?
Well, it goes with rescue. And I almost visualize what a heck of a mess it would have been. And people maimed again and hurt. I guess that kind of set me back about a year or two. Start visualizing all other things too, combat and stuff like that, where I've seen things like that happen.
Anything more about the danger that you thought about?
No, that was all. Strange as it is, that's what I thought about.
How do you mean strange?
Well, funny duck, I guess. I don't think much about myself. It's always the safety of the ship or good of the service. Or,
You don't think much about yourself?
no.
Any thoughts at all about yourself?
Do your duty. Do what you're told and do it the best of your ability. That's odd, isn't it?
Well, tell me about it. I don't, here you were in a tight spot. Ship might get hit, lots of people lost, and yet you say you didn't think about yourself.
No, why should I think about myself? I had a job to do, and I did it.
Well, I wonder if that...
I had no thoughts except this my ship. That was the only thing I thought about. And I froze up on that. Then, like I say, I seemed to lose all coordination after I went in the pilot house. Lost all coordination.
Any thoughts at that time when you went into the pilot house?
I started thinking to myself, what gives? You know what I mean? You try to write your log, you can't write. You just go like that. They take your wrist like that and start printing your log. You're fighting it all the time. You're confused. You don't understand it.
Fighting it?
Well, you're trying to fight this action, the shakes and stuff. You don't know what causes it. It confuses you.
Well, now, isn't it interesting that these are feeling tense, confused, and freezing up? Some that you've told me about seem to happen under certain circumstances.
It does, yes, sir.
And those circumstances are the ones you've told me about are usually circumstances of extreme danger.
And stress. But
What do
it
you
never
think
affects
about
me. It never affects me. That's what's odd. Why doesn't it affect me while the action is going on?
Well,
Why does it affect me after it's over with?
I wonder. You say it never affects you.
When I'm in combat, I never think. Now, that's strange, isn't it?
And yet when you do think, you get agitated.
I get agitated and start freezing up again.
What do you think of that?
I don't know. Guess I'm just losing confidence in myself or something.
You say losing confidence.
Well, I figure if a man has confidence in himself all the way through, he shouldn't be upset like that after it's over with.
A man shouldn't be upset.
I don't think he should. Should be able to go on out and get drunk and forget about it. Don't dream about it and stuff like that, or get froze up about it.
Froze up about it?
Well, I mean, you know, you're a person. You're living in action all the time. You know, I mean, you can't get it off your mind. That's right.
Well, now, it certainly, today we've been able to, I think, see a little more of this. As you point out, being in action, getting nervous. Seems as if there's a connection between the two there. And perhaps if we learn some more about this, it may make a difference to you.